Have you ever felt surrounded by people, yet completely alone? Have you ever wondered if someone loves you for who you truly are, or for what you can offer? This is the story of Adam, a man who had it all, except for what mattered most. And when he decides to hide his true identity to find genuine love, what happens next will make you reflect on the choices we make for love. Get ready for a journey of secrets, vulnerability, and the pursuit of authenticity. After all, who hasn't hidden something for fear of losing what they desire the most? Adam always had everything money could buy. Living in the heart of the city, his glass penthouse offered a panoramic view of the life he led. Luxury, opulence, and admiration surrounded his daily routine. The parties he attended were a parade of expensive clothes and rehearsed laughter, the social events a constant spectacle of who had more. But behind that shine, there was a constant feeling of emptiness. In the eyes of others, Adam was the embodiment of success. Young, handsome, and with a vast fortune, he was admired and envied. But what few knew was that for Adam, life had become an endless cycle of superficial interactions, where every conversation felt repeated and where the people around him only saw him as a walking bank account. His wealth, which should have been a blessing, felt more like a barrier that isolated him from the genuine connections he so desperately craved. It was late at night when Adam, returning from yet another event filled with people he barely knew, looked into the mirror and saw himself clearly for the first time in a long while. The designer suit, the luxurious watch on his wrist, and the lost look in his eyes. He realized he was alone, surrounded by people, but completely alone. It was in that moment something clicked inside him. He wanted to change. He wanted to know what it was like to be treated as a regular person, without the label of wealth weighing down every interaction. The next morning, Adam decided he would try something new. He put on simple clothes, worn-out jeans and a basic t-shirt. No luxury, no flash. He didn't want to be recognized or treated in any special way. He wanted to experience life as an ordinary person, without the name Adam, the millionaire opening doors for him. He left his lavish penthouse with one destination in mind, one of the city's most exclusive boutiques. As Adam stepped into the boutique, the contrast was undeniable. The display windows sparkled with haute couture and fine accessories, the subtle scent of expensive perfumes lingered in the air, and the sound of elegant shoes echoed across the floor. It was a world apart, where luxury was the norm. Dressed in simple clothes, Adam felt out of place, but that's exactly what he wanted. His eyes scanned the room, trying to seem natural, but the truth was, he felt strange, disconnected from everything that used to be so familiar. It was then that a soft voice broke through his thoughts. "Good morning, may I help you?" The young saleswoman approached with a warm, genuine smile. Her name was Lauren, and she looked at him without a hint of judgment. Her immaculate uniform and neatly tied bun spoke of professionalism, but what struck Adam most was the effortless kindness she radiated. Lauren didn't make assumptions about his financial status, something many in her position might have done. She simply offered her assistance as she would to any customer. And in that moment, something shifted inside Adam. He was used to disdainful looks or conversely, excessive attention because of his wealth. But with Lauren, it was different. There was an ease in the way she spoke, as if there was no weight in the air, no expectations. Minutes passed, and Adam realized Lauren was unique. She treated him without ulterior motives, without trying to impress him, without trying to take advantage of who he might be. He stood there in simple clothes, a complete stranger to her, yet the kindness remained the same. He picked out a few items, more to maintain his cover than out of genuine interest. He wanted to prolong the moment, to continue feeling the authenticity Lauren exuded. When he stepped out of the dressing room, wearing one of the shirts Lauren had suggested, she smiled sincerely. "It looks great on you," she said, unaware that the payment would be made with a bank card of limitless balance. Her smile as she bid him farewell left an impression on Adam. He knew something different had happened there. As he walked home, he reflected on the encounter. Lauren didn't know who he was, and that was exactly what he had been searching for. In the days that followed, curiosity grew. Adam wanted to return to that boutique. Not to buy more clothes, but to see Lauren again. She made him feel seen as an ordinary person, something he hadn't experienced in a long time. The next morning, he put on the same simple clothes and went back to the store. When he walked in, He saw Lauren assisting another customer, but as soon as she spotted him, she smiled warmly and naturally. She remembered him. "Glad you came back," she said, approaching after finishing with her previous customer. Her tone was friendly, with no hint that she expected anything more. Adam was more nervous than he cared to admit. "I really liked the service yesterday," he said, trying to sound casual. "Thought I'd come back to check out a few more things." Without hesitation, Lauren began showing him new items with the same care and attention she had the day before. But Adam wasn't really interested in the clothes. It was the conversation that mattered. As she guided him through the store, Adam couldn't help but admire her simplicity. He found himself more drawn to the stories she told than to the boutique's products. In a relaxed moment, he asked, "What's it like working here? Seems like a pretty busy place." Lauren smiled as she folded a few garments, answering with enthusiasm, "Yeah, it gets busy. Most customers are always chasing the latest trends or looking for something special for an event, but it's a good job. I get to meet a lot of interesting people." Her eyes lit up as she spoke. She genuinely seemed to enjoy what she did. Adam nodded, but his curiosity deepened. Who was Lauren? What were her dreams, her ambitions? He wanted to know more, to understand the person behind that genuine smile. Over time, Adam's visits to the boutique became more frequent. He'd buy a few items just to keep up appearances, but what he truly sought were the moments he spent with Lauren. Each interaction made him feel closer to her, and gradually, the desire to know her outside of the store grew. One day, while trying on a jacket she had suggested, Adam spontaneously asked, "Do you have any free time today? Maybe we could grab a coffee after your shift." Lauren was surprised, but accepted the invitation with a smile. At the cafe, their conversation flowed naturally. They talked about trivial things, funny stories about customers, and even some of their dreams and aspirations. For Adam, it was a relief to simply be himself, without the weight of his wealth or last name. For the first time in a long while, he felt free. As days passed, Adam knew he was falling in love. But there was a major problem. He still hadn't told her the truth about who he really was. The fear of losing Lauren consumed him. How would she react when she found out that the man she knew as simple and ordinary was, in fact, a millionaire? That doubt haunted him. Lauren, on the other hand, had also started to wonder about Adam. He was always vague when it came to his personal life, his work, and his background. She didn't know much about him beyond what they shared in their daily interactions. And as time went on, her curiosity only grew. So on an otherwise ordinary day, during a lunch in the park, Lauren decided to ask directly, "Adam, what do you do for a living? You never really talk about your work." The silence that followed was brief, but intense. Adam knew he couldn't run from the truth any longer. He took a deep breath and, with a heavy heart, decided to confess. "Lauren, I'm not exactly who you think I am. I'm a millionaire." Lauren's reaction was immediate. She was shocked, unsure of what to say. Adam tried to explain that he had hidden his true identity because he wanted to be seen as an ordinary person, not as someone surrounded by wealth. But for Lauren, the revelation felt like a bucket of cold water. She realized that the man she had been falling for wasn't who she thought he was. In the days that followed, Lauren pulled away. She needed time to process everything. The pain of the lie was overwhelming, and she questioned whether she could trust Adam again. Meanwhile, Adam felt like his world was falling apart. He knew he had made a mistake, but he also knew that what he felt for Lauren was real. The guilt consumed him, but he understood that giving her space was the only way forward. Finally, after days of silence, Adam decided to do something. He dressed simply once again and returned to the boutique where it all began, holding a bouquet of flowers. When Lauren saw him, she hesitated but allowed him to approach. Adam apologized sincerely, explaining that his intention was never to deceive her but to protect the genuine connection they had built. Lauren, still hurt, looked into Adam's eyes and realized that although the lie had hurt, the moments they shared had been real. She needed time to process everything and rebuild her trust in him. Adam, full of regret, promised to wait as long as it took. The following days were difficult for both of them. Lauren reflected on everything and came to realize that despite the disappointment, there was something genuine in what they had experienced. Adam, on his part, respected her space, though he struggled with the pain of their distance. A few weeks later, Lauren decided to give him another chance and invited Adam to talk. She admitted that she had fallen in love with him, not for his fortune, but for the man she had come to know. They agreed to start over, this time with honesty and trust. In the months that followed, they grew even closer, cherishing the simplicity and the moments that truly mattered. Their love became stronger, built on the truth and the trust they had rebuilt together. If you were moved by Adam and Lauren's journey and believe that true love can overcome even the greatest barriers, don't forget to hit that like button. And now, tell me in the comments, what would you do in their place? Do you think love is strong enough to forgive a lie? I really want to hear your thoughts on this story. Once again, thank you so much for supporting our channel and watching our stories. I'll see you in the next one.